Nan, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. It's good to see you.
All right. So tell me, who are you and what do you do?
Chris Andrews. I'm the Chief Information Officer for Unleashed Brands. We're a platform company that we own 6 brands. Many of them you've probably heard of or been to, Urban Air, The Little Gym, Snapology, Class 101, Premier Martial Arts, and esports league called XP League. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And when I was doing my research for our interview, looking on the website, it's all education-based, early education-based. It seems like such a mission-driven organization. So how did you decide on this one?
I always look for brands that resonate with me personally. And my previous brand was exactly how I live my lifestyle, healthy and active. And when I had an opportunity to meet with a couple of the founders of Unleashed and hear their mission and vision for child enrichment, and focusing on brands that are in the categories of learn, play, and grow, it's game changing. They're going to change the way that parents schedule activities and life skills for their children, but it's also going to change the game around franchising as well. And so that it was a hard decision to leave my previous role, but this is going to be one that I think is going to be an amazing mission for all of us.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And very excited to really get into Unleashed and tell us, what do you like to do?
I think probably a key theme in my career has been anything that's challenging and hard or chaotic. I just get drawn to it. I've told a lot of people over the years when I've been called about kind of mature CIO positions in companies that, hey, things are running fine, nothing's on fire. It doesn't really do much for me. I love, and it's probably because of like my consulting days, I love hard problems, chaotic situations that I can come streamline and bring some kind of calm to.
That's impressive because not a lot of people can handle that chaos. So if anyone has an issue or something on fire, you're the guy.
Apparently, that's the niche I've made for myself.
That's a very good niche to have. All right, so marketing, leadership, technology, very easy. One question over each. When you're leading multiple brands like you are in Unleashed, right? Childhood education has this umbrella of companies. Really, it almost covers the end-to-end childhood education, right? You said grow, play, and learn?
Learn, play, grow, yep.
So how do you approach marketing on a corporate level? So you sit at corporate, but then you have all your brands underneath. So is it every brand is independent? Does corporate provide like a baseline support, or is it more hands-on? Is corporate more hands-on to the day-to-day?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mixture. We do have some brand specific resources, but we also have a lot of shared services. One of the exciting things for us is that we have this unified platform that we're continually integrating our new brands on, and that's really going to give us the power to cross-pollinate. I think for us, getting back to the core for brand and or sitting up at the platform level is we need to focus on the guest. And the guest is the parent, right? And so how do we create this frictionless experience for them while they're trying to schedule activities and life skills for their children? And we believe that we're going to have the only platform that's going to allow them to do that.
That's fantastic. So are we talking one platform, one ring to rule them all, like Lord of the Rings, one platform to rule all the childhood education?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you'll be able to think about this, that a parent has 3 different children and they have specific needs, right? You may have a kid that is more into science and engineering and math. Well, we have Snapology for them. But you have another child that wants to be in martial arts. They need that discipline, right? They need that confidence. And so they're going into Premier Martial Arts. And then maybe you have like a 2-month-old, right? That's just starting to do a lot of their motor skills. When you put them in the little gym, we have the platform that you create one account. You can see all your children there and you have a calendar, all their activities. And within minutes, you can enroll them in different classes. You can even book parties for them.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. Are you planning to roll this out for, older adults too? Because I will subscribe to your beta.
Yes, maybe that'll be the next version.
What's your approach to leadership when there are multiple and diverse stakeholders? Because we mentioned some of the brands, right? You've got Snapology, you've got Little Gym, you've got the early childhood education. So how do you lead? Do you segment them, right, and lead one individually? Do you apply the same leadership principles whole? Similar to the marketing question. I mean, how do you do this? How do you balance that?
Yes, this is be real earth shattering here. I come in and I listen. And so I want to meet with multiple brand executives. I want to meet with our team here, and I sit down and just ask them, what are you struggling with? What are things that you really like about your business? What would you improve if you could? Right, wave a magic wand, and I don't steer them anywhere. Mm-hmm. I let them talk. I get their opinions on everything, and so after I've had these interviews with multiple executives and my team and even other departments, right? Because people in marketing or even accounting, they're going to have an opinion on brands, on technology, etc. And then I take all of that in, and then I start to build this gap analysis, right? Of here are my wants and here are my needs, and maybe here are some things that we're not going to get to, and so maybe we need to reprocess some business processes that we have. And so, and I think a lot of it too gets back to leading with humility, and that not walking in the room and, hey, I automatically have the answer. I don't even need you to tell me. Or they say a problem like, oh, I can fix this. I don't do any of that. I just sit back and I listen.
That's fantastic. And it's harder, it's easier said than done. It's harder to incorporate. How do you prioritize that list? So once you have your gap analysis, what advice do you have for people that are in that situation of, I've got 10 priorities, how do I figure out which one to attack first or which one to advocate first?
Yeah, I mean, we start mapping those to revenue. You start mapping it to current issues that you may have, right? There's always compliance and security that you have to consider in there as well. And so, I'll go through with my team and look at the multiple factors, and then it becomes very, very apparent when you look at it through that lens of what's going to bubble up to the top that you need to start attacking.
So as the CIO of Unleashed, you're exposed to just a myriad of businesses and business structures. The large corporate family structure that we talked about with the Unleashed corporate, and then the individual structures with each brand. So with this view, what do you think is the most pertinent tech need for companies today?
Data. Purely data. And and a lot of people say data, right? Oh, data is really important. But what are you exactly doing with your data? Do you have, and this is what I've started up here at Unleashed, like we have a data center of excellence. Mm-hmm. And so for a while when MarTech was first coming out, it was a digital center of excellence. And when I got here and started looking at our platform, our brands, and where we want to go, it became very apparent that we've got to focus on data. We have to have a center of excellence. I even got a little cute with the naming of a new director that I hired here. I put in his offer letter, you're the data czar. and in the interview process, I told him, I said, the reason that I put that in there is that I want you to know how important data is to Unleashed and to all the brands, because without us doing the right things with the data, we're not going to be able to offer this frictionless, streamlined experience for our guests, for the parents, but also we're not going to be able to give them that visibility into the other brands as well.
How do you take that data from just being data to actually making it, a frictionless experience, a personalized experience?
Well, we're very fortunate to have these 6 brands and to be able to have a lot of rich data because you can pull that into a data lake and you start building models, and you can start seeing customer lifetime value at distinct brands, but then you can also see crossover between brands that we haven't even pushed yet, right? And so that's the opportunity for us, is that in markets, somebody may not know about a Snapology, and it's a perfect fit for their kid, and they've been going to the Little Gym. Well, if you start building models and you start looking at that data, you'll start to see that, hey, at X age is a great time for me to start messaging you to say, hey, did you know about X, Y, or Z? right? And so I think when you start feeding in outside data sources as well, you're going to be able to see that, hey, this is perfect for Snapology, but this kid probably needs a premier martial arts. And that's where the magic sauce for us is.
Really, it's looking at the data and not being a traditional mindset, whereas we look at the data and we're like, okay, how can I make this more personalized? What can I push? But what are the gaps? Again, going back to your gap analysis, what are the gaps that I can fill for this client that would be beneficial for them? So it sounds very customer-centric, very value-driven, very what can I do to make this parent's life easier and keep this child not only entertained, but also, with educational programs and helping them grow.
Yeah, and I think that is the long-term goal. I mean, yes, every company talks about revenue and keeping that customer, but when your value proposition is so high that I'm going to help you track skills for your child and provide this path from the time they're 2 months up to 18 years, why would you not stay with somebody that you trust, that provides that kind of visibility into that journey? That's the exciting part for all of us here.
But do you choose to accept yes or no?
Yes.
I don't have a buzzer. I should have sent you something in the mail, but I promise I'll fill this in with music. So it'll be much more exciting. All right. First thing that pops into your head. First question. Let's stay on this kid theme. Favorite Disney character and why?
Oh, favorite Disney character. Man, you're going to catch me there too, because I'm not a big Disney person at all. Because I was a Six Flags employee, so I would have said Bugs Bunny. But I think you have to go with Mickey Mouse. Definitely has to be the top of a Disney character.
We can make it both. Bugs Bunny to tie back to your roots, and then of course Mickey Mouse is iconic. So
Warner Brothers to Disney.
All right. So again, let's talk about childhood. Favorite childhood book?
Favorite childhood book? Oh man, this one's going to be kind of nerdy, but it's probably Lord of the Flies.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's either going to be that or I read tons of Stephen King.
So did you read It when you were a little kid?
I did not read It. I liked some of the other Stephen King books, but It was a little too much for me.
A little intense. But Lord of the Flies is interesting. So why Lord of the Flies? Why was that your favorite childhood book?
Listen, I think just the story of having these young adolescents out on their own, forming their own society, and like the parallels of what happens, it's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing, and it's something that I'm like, man, I wish I was stranded on an island.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, last one, best one. That's what they say.
Okay.
Your last meal, what would it be?
A last meal. Oh man, that's a good one. My last meal ever, huh? It'd have to be a filet. I'm an easy guy, and I love red meat, so it definitely would be a filet, medium rare.
Ooh, okay. What are the sides though?
Oh, sides, it has to be a twice baked potato.
Oh, so classic. You're starting to sound like a Southern boy here.
Yeah, I know, and I'm originally from the Midwest, but the South has taken me over.
Well, Chris, thank you for your time as a busy executive, new to Unleash, 4 months, right? But I know that your time is spare, so thank you so much for sharing your thought leadership and sharing of your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. This is fun.